do. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Overland 870 podcast. I'm Brad from Narwhal Adventures, and I'm here tonight with my good friend Michael Rhoades.
Yes, sir.
From Arkansas Off-Road Adventures. So, Michael, how's it going, brother?
Going great. How about yourself?
Living the dream, man. Living the dream. Getting ready for the Jasper Jeep Jam. We got it coming up pretty fast. Man, we got some fun stuff to talk about tonight. I mean, we got a lot of cool stuff to talk about.
Yes,
but we're gonna open it up like we always do. I kind of skipped that last week with BJ because we had a little thing going on there. But this is kind of you kind of alluded to this story this week on Facebook when you were posting stuff on there about what got you into the camping and the overland and stuff like that. So I've yet to hear this, so I got to hear it, brother. So tell me how you got into this.
Yes. Well, I bought a '98 TJ. And I used to have a Jeep when I was younger. And so, anyways, I got to watching Matt and Kara from Ozark Overland Adventures. And, everybody does watch. It seems like that's where it starts. Yeah, it just starts. And I like them, great couple. And I watched Chris, Carol, Fast Track Overland and all that. Anyways, I thought, man, you know what? I would really like to take Jeeping and camping and bring it together. I thought that's really cool. So anyway, me and my wife, there's a spot not far from here on a place called Cave Creek, and we went down and went camping. And this camping trip was to find out what we needed and what we did not need. We kind of find out we needed a whole lot of stuff. And we were
go ahead.
We were on our way there, and it's pouring down rain. It's like in the upper 40s outside. I mean, it's nasty. I mean, when I told her, I said, we're fixing to face the elements, and so we had our Gazelle was brand new. We had never used it. And so anyway, we got it all set up. And what we learned was that we had no dry wood and, and we had no way of building a fire because the pit was out in the middle of the rain. So my wife finds this old barbecue grill. Like the old ones like we used to use back.
You're from the Ozarks when you got your grill out.
Finds that there at the camp spot, drags it over. I put this tarp up over the back glass of the TJ, and put a tarp over it to try to block the rain off so we can cook and eat. She manages to build a fire. I swear she's got Cherokee in her or something because the wood was damp. She builds this fire in this barbecue pit thing and slides it right to the edge of the tarp, where we can feel heat coming off of it. Yeah. And the only problem about that was the smoke was caught under the tarp. And so, And so
go ahead.
But that's kind of how that night went. And then it poured rain all night long. The creek beside us, Cave Creek, had actually started to flood that night. I mean, it was a serious rain. And 3 a.m, somehow my phone got a little dab of service, and I was able to pull the radar up. And I was like, Kim. She's like, what? I said, there's a break in the rain. We could break everything down and just go home right now. It's like 3 a.m. She's like, we are not going home, because if we do, they're going to make fun of us for not being tough. And so I'm like, okay, we're not leaving. So we stayed till the morning.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. So y'all started from the get-go together. That's what it was. Y'all were, from the start. That's how Gina and I were when we first started doing this. You have a couple upsides to your story from when we started, because we didn't even have a tent.
Yeah.
We slept in the back of our JK, and of course, I guess I'm in the same boat as you are. Gina builds most of our fires, because if you ask Alvin, from Smoking Crumbs, like, I'm the worst fire builder ever, and she can start a fire with 2 water bottles that are full of water. She can start a fire with it. I can't. Yeah. But that's awesome. You guys went out and did that. You watched all these videos, you watch Matt and Kara's videos, you watch Chris's. We're guilty. We all watch it. I watch Chris's videos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's tons of people I've watched. I watch Grant's videos. I watch everybody's stuff, and that's what gets kind of everybody going in this lifestyle a little bit. Seeing something cool, and you're like, you know what, I can do that.
Yes.
And you did it, and you got out and about, and look where you're at now.
Yeah.
I mean, you're doing all kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing some of the stuff. But yeah, when we went home that next day, I sat down with a piece of paper and I don't know how much stuff I wrote. I'm like, this is what we need to do different, So Kim, she's like, I'm buying an Ozark Trail canopy that we can fold out. And we had a rack on top of the Jeep, so we could just throw that up there. So that worked out, having that, when we need it. And then eventually I sold the TJ and I bought my black JK I have today that we call Disturbed.
Yes. We've got a friend of ours, Ricky. He's in the chat over here. Ricky's a big TJ guy. He has a Jeep that he's used as a submarine. He's cut it apart in 20,000 different pieces. He's got like I think he's got like the brake pedal off of like a 41 Ford Fairlane or something. I mean, I don't know what he's got in the Jeep, but he has everything. He's a huge TJ guy. He loves TJs. He sleeps in his. But like you said though, I mean, you made a list of what you wanted to get, what you needed, and if you're like me, you made that list and you changed it 26,000 times.
Yes.
And you slowly make your way through. We didn't even have pot. We had nothing. We're rounding stuff up from our house,
Yep.
And we're going to do stuff. And luckily for me, and I can't sing her praises enough, Gina is the level-headed one of us. I don't know how it sits in your house, but Gina's the level-headed because I'm like, ooh, shiny, let's buy it, And it just goes in the pile of stuff in the garage we don't ever use, and but
you're a lot like us. See our shed outside. Of course now I've got the lithium 100 amp battery in the back of my JK. I've got a set power refrigerator. I've got like a Sterilite four drawer plastic thing with all my cooking stuff inside of it. That's inside of there, and so then all the stuff that I used to use is all thrown out in that shed now. Like I've got a good cooler out there, and I go out there and it reminds me of where I came from.
Yeah, if you can even manage to stare directly at our garage without getting your eye cut, because there's so much stuff that I've just piled up in there. It's ridiculous. We have gone the gambit. So like we did the roll up air inflatable mats. We did the Amazon cheap self-inflating plasticky mats. We did all that. We put a piece of plywood in the bed of the JK and put an air mattress in there.
Yeah.
We had regular pop-up Ozark Trail tents. I didn't have a rooftop tent forever until I finally got one, and they used to make fun of me about that. They'd put tents on top of our Jeep, like little pop-up tents, and take pictures of it. Like, you're never getting a rooftop tent, you're never getting Well, I felt like but I finally did get one. Right. Stoves. I mean, we're like, I can't tell you how many Ozark Trail stoves that we have. Like, we got the green Coleman, we got Ozark Trail, we got Magellan from, and they're all the same stuff. Everyone was exactly the same. They all work. So
yeah. Yeah, I think I've got an old Ozark Trail stove that I use, and it works really good. Sometimes it works too good. It's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see. I don't see the point in buying a Sea to Summit inflatable pillow when my pants rolled up in a ball. They're basically the same thing.
Right.
Basically the same thing. But I cruised through all your stuff. I watched your videos. You've been to some pretty cool places. I mean, y'all been to a lot of places and done quite a bit. Y'all been more places than I've been to. So yeah. I mean, like out of all that stuff that you've done and you guys have gone, what do you think is your favorite place that you've been to?
Well,
that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah, that's a hard question. I'm blessed. I live right here in the middle of the Ozarks. Just kind of south of Jasper. So I live right in the middle of the Ozarks. Of course, I think it was Jamie told me at Storm of the Ozark. He said, "I hate you." because I live here in the Ozarks, and so I have access to all of it easily, and Big Piney is the place that I love. That is my favorite place. I grew up down there deer hunting a lot when I was younger, and so there's a lot of memories there at that place. And so, we would go down there and camp. I used to tent camp maybe once, maybe twice a year. Mm-hmm. Last year we went like 15 or 20 times because we have a different outlook on how we do things now. But anyway, some of my favorite spots. I like the waterfalls. Fuzzy Butt Falls at Richland Creek. I don't know if you've ever been to Fuzzy Butt Falls.
Yes.
But it is like you walk from one look to a tropical look when you walk up inside there. Mm-hmm. That falls. It's so beautiful. It'll take your breath away. But that's the good part up here in the Ozarks. We are blessed with so many different waterfalls. I mean, I know some people have been to about every one of them, but just some beautiful ones. Hall Creek Falls Campground. I would love to camp there. It's real, it's a pretty quiet place, and you got that big waterfall there. So it's beautiful there. I love that place. But as far as me saying, this is the spot.
We didn't even get in. We didn't get in 10 minutes. We didn't get 10 minutes into this, and Corey is already. Corey, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Yes, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah. Everybody loves the Bigfoot stories.
Hey, look, Kyle. They have.
He
made it home.
There's my Cajun buddy, Cajun Kyle. You can't have a camp without Cajun Kyle.
Yeah. I heard a funny story. He just told me when we were back before we come on live. He just told me, we gotta talk about that one. We're gonna talk about that again in a minute.
Yeah.
But we're blessed. I mean, you're overly blessed. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are in that area, that the Ozarks is a vast area of different types of landscapes. I mean, it's like we got the water, dude. We got like how many waterfalls there are. Like it's like every time I go, I find another one. There's like more and more and more, and it's crazy. It's like a never-ending story of the stuff that you can go look at. I mean, it's just amazing to me. I'm jealous. I'm very, very jealous that you are right there. I mean, because like you said, at Storm of the Ozarks, you're like, well, I'm gonna go home. I'm only an hour away. I'm gonna go to the house, and I'm like, I'm 4 hours from here, dude. I'm like, Gina would never see me because I would be in the woods every Friday afternoon when I got off work. So
yeah, it's easy accessible. I know. I told Danny that morning. I said to him about what time I was going to be there. I said it won't take me long to get there. And anyways, when I got there, he's like, "You were right. It don't take you long." I was like, "No, I'm only like 45 minutes to an hour away from here."
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh man, here we go. Look, man. Okay, so everybody. Okay, is this a general consensus of the chat right now? We're gonna head first into the Bigfoot stuff because I mean I'm ready to go. If you guys are, I mean I'm ready to hear some cool Bigfoot stories.
Everybody loves Bigfoot.
Everybody. Okay, before we get into Bigfoot stories, I got to ask you a question. Okay. All right, I'm going to give you option A, and I'm going to give you option B, and you got to tell me your thoughts on Bigfoot. So, are you this Bigfoot, which is option A? Are you the big crazy Bigfoot, or are you more Harry and the Hendersons Bigfoot? I mean, is he the lovable guy that's just wanting to just hang out, but he's scared? I mean, what is it? What's your choice? What do you think?
Well, you needed an option C, like right down the middle.
Well, the other he had was the Bigfoot from the Bionic Man when he spins the guy around the sleeping bag and throws him out. That was option C.
Well, let me ask you, which one do you think I am?
Man, I'll tell you right now, I'm a Bigfoot guy. I'm 7'4", 365 pounds. I mean, I played for the Eagles, so, but I think Bigfoot's angry. I think Bigfoot does not want us around anywhere around his stuff. He's like angry dad Bigfoot is what I look at. So
I'd probably fall more toward the loving one,
I do not have purple glasses on. These are my old man glasses so that I can read the comments But thanks for pointing that out, Craig. Okay, so back to which Bigfoot do you think we got? What do we got in the Ozarks?
Oh, I'd go more toward the B.
You get to the happy-go-lucky Bigfoot.
Yeah, I'm not really ever angry. I mean, it takes a lot to make me mad. People would tell you that because I mean, when I am mad, I'm mad. But
Yeah.
I don't hardly ever get mad. A lot of people say they like to be around me because I'm always happy all the time. I'm like, well, most of the time, yeah.
I'm the same way. I'm happy-go-lucky all the time. But like I said, I'm not joking or poking any fun or anything about the Bigfoot stuff because I personally, I mean, I'll tell you, it doesn't bother me. I believe in Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in ghosts, and I believe in aliens. I'm just throwing it out there. You take it, run with it, everything you want to. I hate snakes. If there's alien Bigfoot snakes out there, then I won't have anything to do with them. I just give up.
Yeah.
But I personally have seen a lot of stuff in those Ozarks. Stuff in the Ozarks that leads me to believe that this is a real thing. And then you have tons of stories. Mm-hmm. And so let's jump right into these, and I want to hear what your stuff is on this.
Well, what kind of got me into it was that I actually had an experience here at my house. I didn't actually experience it. I heard something, and I've grown up in the Ozarks. I've been here all of my life. I'm 42 years old. I've been here all my life. I've heard about everything there is in the woods. I've encountered bears. I've killed bears. I've shot at hogs. I've killed deer, all that stuff. But so I'm very aware of sounds in my surrounding. And but one night about 9:30 at night, I was out here on our back porch, and we have a big mountain up on top, and there's nothing up there. And I heard this like howl sound that was just absolutely incredible. And I was like, whoa, what was that? But it sounded like sounds I've heard on TV before about Bigfoot. And I thought, go in here. And I told Kim, I said, I know you're going to think I'm crazy, but I heard this with my son Landon. He was living here at home at the time. We went outside and we heard it about 10 minutes later, and Landon got to hear it. And he said, and it had moved around the mountain. And Landon said, Dad, what is that? I said, I don't know, but I'm so glad you heard it, so you know I'm not crazy. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, one of my friends who had actually seen a Bigfoot when he was younger, and he's somebody that I really do trust. And so he had talked to me about it, a few years before. Well, I was excited to get, I told him the next day, I said, I heard something. And I told him what it sounded like. He said, I'm going to play you a clip, and it's from, you can find it on YouTube. It's called the Ohio Howl. And he played me that howl, and that is the exact sound that I heard. So I said, let's send it to Landon. So I sent it to Landon, and Landon replied back, OMG, that's exactly what we heard. Yeah. So that's what sparked my interest about Bigfoot. Really, then I was always open-minded to the fact, because all Native American tribes in North America have some form of Bigfoot, Sasquatch, or whatever. Yeah. So I've always been open-minded to the fact of it, but not to the point that I am today about it. And so I had that happen. And so a lot of people don't like to talk about their encounters or something that's happened because I'm going to be made fun of. Yeah, everybody thinks they're going, oh, yeah. Well, I just had a little splash there. Did that just cut out for a second? Or was that just me? I guess it was just on my side. I don't know. Okay. I let my screen cut out for a minute. But you're right. I mean, you're completely right. I mean, like, a bunch of guys. I mean, most of you people know. Big. Thank you. Appreciate that, Justin. Smallfoot. Max Moore. Max Moore is a good friend of mine. Max is a Bigfoot guy. Max is a Bigfoot guy. I mean, I have seen some stuff. We talked about this behind the scenes a little bit. I've seen some stuff out there in the Ozarks. People have taken me and, because they don't like to share this stuff, because you don't want people from California and, New Mexico swamp and, the Ozarks and Trenton through there with cameras trying to hunt stuff down, destroying everything. But people have taken me and showed me stuff that I'm like, oh, that's kind of hard to dispute that. Yeah. I'm looking at it right here. It's kind of hard to dispute that, but you don't want to talk about that in just general, because people will be like, oh yeah, that guy, he's crazy. He's a nut job, whatever. But I mean, you've had encounters. I mean, other people have had Bigfoot encounters. Yeah. So But
I mean,
we had one man down in my big area that I do most of my looking, or as far as researching and stuff like that, and talk to people. Yeah, people that's had stuff happen. When they find out, this one thing that I've learned: if the people find out that you are somewhat of a believer in Bigfoot, they will talk to you. And so that's what really led me into doing Bigfoot research. And all of my research revolves around Big Piney, which is a popular place for all of us.
Yes, it is. Yes.
And so I actually have an area down there that we call the hot spot, and it's a long miles of area. But when I do interviews, people are like, okay, what happened? Where did it happen? And I never tell people about the hot spot. There's only 2 or 3 people that even know about where the hot spot is. And so when I talk to them, and then 9 times out of 10, it happens in that area. And so that's what makes it so credible. One gentleman that I talked to that actually has a cabin within the hotspot area that really got things rolling. They had killed like 6 hogs. One of them was like a boar, and they went out there and they chained this old hog up on this tree to see what they could catch on camera. And they went back a couple of days later.
That's a PETA violation.
Yeah. So it was just some big old boar hog.
Yeah.
And anyway, they said that it had the camera when they got there was flipped backwards into the tree, and the hog had been picked up and carried off.
Wow.
And he said there's no way that something could have anything would have just carried it off. But that's not the strange part. So what is it? He said our camera was flipped backwards facing into the tree. And we're talking about land that's surrounded. It's all private property.
Yeah.
And then a few years later, well, maybe not even a year ago, I was talking to another gentleman in that same area that just deer hunts there. They had some cameras out watching some game trails. And he said we would take our carcasses over there because we wanted to see what we might catch on camera, like a mountain lion, which I have seen down at Big Piney Creek. I have seen one there when I was about 14. But anyway, what was funny was he told me, he said, but there was something really weird that happened. And I said, well, what happened? He said, our cameras would turn backwards into the trees. And I said, you're kidding me. He said, no, 3 of them. And I was like, and I didn't know what, I was like, that's weird because several miles down creek from there, the same thing happened. And I said, I find that very interesting. Like they knew they were there.
I've got a guy that I work with. His name's Jason Faulkner. Okay. So Jason to me, he's my Bigfoot aficionado, big word there. So like Jason he's on the Sasquatch podcast. Mm-hmm. He's on, he's all the time doing this. He's talking about it and everything. And Jason and I went to, we were down in Dumas, Arkansas. We were working down there. So I decided I'm going to take my tent. I'm just going to take my Jeep down there. I'm going to go camp, So we're camping right there at the Corps of Engineers camp spot, whatever it was. And it's just swampy out there and everything else. And Jason's like, he's on this Bigfoot expedition while we're there. That's the whole reason he's like, man, this is perfect squatch ground. And he's the guy, he's over there. He's got the bottle. He's going to town and he's doing all this. And I wake up at 4:00 in the morning and I hear this, woo, woo, and he's beating on a tree with a branch. And I wake up and I'm like, Jason, what the hell are you doing? He goes, I was just seeing if you're awake. I'm like, are you calling Bigfoot? I said, are you trying to call Bigfoot to the campground? And he's like, no, man, I was just seeing if you were awake. I'm like, at 4:00 in the morning, you're calling Bigfoot and hitting a tree. I'm like, there's other people in this campground, dude. I said, they're going to call the cops on you. And he's like, it's too good of an opportunity to pass up. I can't do this.
Yeah.
But
as far as down at Big Piney, as far as I have experienced anything there, I've had it twice.
Yeah.
One at one of our camps I told you about we call Swatch Camp, which is very secretive that I don't talk about much. But I guess it had been about 1.5 years ago. We were there. Me and my cousin were camping. We were fishing. And we had set out a trot line on Big Piney. Was catching some channel cats. Well, we were about halfway across the creek. It was about 7 in the evening. It had been raining off and on. And as we were about halfway across, over in the woods, all of a sudden we hear it call, pop.
Yeah.
Loud, like wood knock. And anyways, I turned and looked toward Brandon. I said, please tell me you just heard that. He said, I did. I said, what did it sound like? He said, a wood knock. And I said, yeah. I said, don't pay no mind to it. just keep going, And so, yeah, you're talking about your friend go out there and they're beating on stuff,
Yeah.
One of the greatest things that you can do if you're going to have an encounter is act normal. There's a lot of researchers that tell you that act normal at your camp. If something happens, don't respond to it, because if they want you to know more, they're going to do more.
Yeah.
So, and so just it's hard not to want to do something to respond back, because it's the natural instinct of humanity to, I got to do something. I'm going to, I'm going to beat my stick and see if I get a response back. But so stuff like that.
You get out in the Ozarks, and I mean, there's a lot of times when we're camping. Sometimes we're in bigger groups. Most time there's just 2 or 3 of us together out there doing that, and you hear a lot of stuff. Yeah. I mean, you do. I mean, you hear cats, you hear stuff. For years, people told us there was no cats around here. There was no big cats, and that was a lie. We figured that was a lie. So, but I love going out and doing that. I love experiencing that. I love going out. And, I've been on a couple squatching expeditions. I've been on a couple of those. I have. And most of the people that you go out and you interact with that do this right here, they're serious. I mean, these people are, you're obviously serious. I'm like, hey, look, I've seen stuff. But you got some weirdos that go out and, like Bigfoot, is flying a spaceship to my house, and they paid for my cable this month. It's like, okay.
Whole another rabbit hole.
We need to get you over here to these other people. Bigfoot's not paying for cable. I get it. I understand, whatever. But,
you were talking about the whooping. It would have been late summer of this past year. Me and my wife were camping at Hall Creek Falls for the first time. There was about 3 or 4 camps there, I think it was. So I can't remember now. The waterfall was pretty much dry. I mean, it was so bone dry. And we had been out with Corey and Kayla, Big Rock Overland. And shout out to my brother and sister over. And we've been out with Trailheads Overland out of Mississippi. And so Corey and them, Trailheads, they went down into back down into Coacheta's, went down in there. And me and Kim, we're like, hey, let's go camp at Hall Creek Falls tonight, because we had to be home the next day. So we went there and we camped that night. Well, at 4 a.m, I was laying there and rolled over, and of all the places, I would have never expected this, but I heard what sounded like a loud whoop down the creek. And I was like, no way, because that's the first time I've ever heard that in real life. Well, what was funny was up on top of the mountain up above us, I could hear a reply. And I was like, no way. And then I heard it reply again. Well, nothing happened. So I rolled over. I'm like, Kim. She's like, what? I said, wake up. I said, listen. And she's like, she don't even know what to listen for. I was telling her to listen. And all of a sudden, we hear this rock go boom into the creek. And she goes, I said, did you hear that? She's like, yeah, I heard that. I said, that was a rock. She's like, I know. And so anyways, I told her, I said, but that's not why I woke you up. I said, before that rock, I said, I heard this real loud whoop down the creek. And I said, I heard a reply come off that mountain. I was trying to wake you up, hoping that you'd get to hear it. I sure didn't expect a rock. But it was loud, like it chunked it into the creek but it was down the creek from the camp,
Yeah.
But it was so incredibly loud. Just thud. It was wild. So that
excuse me. I would love to hear that, but the problem is I camp a lot with Craig, and I camp a lot with Jordan. And
who's Craig?
Who's Craig? And Craig snores really, 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 really bad. And so you can't really hear anything around him. And Jordan sleeps till like 10:45 a.m. And you wake up and all you hear sounds like there's 2 like wolves or 2 hogs fighting inside his tent. I'm not sure what's happening, but it's distracting.
Somebody's dying in there, huh?
I don't know what's going on, but it's kind of like it's completely different than camping with Dan, because when you camp with Dan, if you wake up at 4:15, Dan's been up for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
No, he's already got up. He's done cooked some breakfast or something, and he's took a nap, or whatever. Got back up again before you ever moved.
Right.
Craig was sleeping up the river. That's what you heard. Was you didn't hear a whoop, you heard Craig sleep.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so we've touched base on one of your passions, which is the Bigfoot stuff. You got to tell me how you got in. How did you cross all this and end up being like the weatherman? Because you got this weather stuff going on now too. Like look, you're way because I have a weatherman. It's a nemesis of mine. He's like Ryan Vaughn from KIT.
Yeah.
Ryan. Yeah. But how did you get into the weatherman stuff?
Well, I've always been enthused by the weather. Mostly when I was younger, I read about every book there was in the library about weather. And
you watched Twister. Just say it. You watched
Twister. Twister was really cool till I got one about it, and I'm thinking that is so fake. Yeah, you can't even watch it like that. It's so fake. But yeah, I'd always been interested in the weather. Always been amused. I've always been amused by nature anyway, which the weather is no doubt a part of nature, whether it's rain, snow, sleet, hail, or sunshine.
Yeah.
I got into that in 1998. I went and got my severe storms spotter training course from the National Weather Service in Little Rock, and then I went back and I guess it had been 2008. I went back and retook it again. Something a little bit different at that time. I think John Robinson, was his name. He was a meteorologist warning coordinator for the National Weather Service in Little Rock, and a really great man. He's retired now. But anyway, he was one of our teachers there. But anyway, so after that, I got that really good understanding about that stuff. And so I really got into reading radar and learning about that, reading forecast models and things like that. And so anyways, when I learned all that knowledge, I just put it in. I used to have just my regular old Facebook page, just Michael Rhoades or whatever at the time. And so I'd always done it for many years on Facebook. And then my son is like, Dad, you need to create your own Facebook page for that,
And you're pretty accurate. You're pretty accurate, dude. I mean, like you're not, That's like I said, I used to, Ryan Vaughn, he did Channel 8 stuff over here, Region 8 News stuff. And Ryan and I had this kind of love-hate. I love to hate him. It was like, because he would get on like, it's going to snow, man. We're getting Jonesboro's getting 8 to 15 inches of snow, tomorrow. What's going to happen, And I'd get on his Facebook page and I'd be like, look, if there is 90% chance of snow and a 10% chance of a Godzilla attack, and you predicted it, I'm going with the Godzilla attack because you have missed the mark 100% of the time. It was like, I thought he was part of News Team, or was it News Team 7 from Ron Burgundy from Anchorman? I thought he was Whammy. He's one of them guys. But
the part about, up here, like where I live in the Ozarks, I get the forecast two kinds of weather here in Newton County. Of course, it's called my Facebook page for it's Newton County Storm Watch.
Mm-hmm.
But I have people from
go follow that because it's good. Go follow it.
And I have people all over the state follow my stuff. And I think right now we're over 4,000 followers.
Yeah.
And so it's only been a little over a year and a half, I think it is, since I created it. And I created just that page. And so it exploded. And so during severe weather events up here, I'll go live on Facebook with radar, talking to people and stuff like that. And so there's a lot of people, especially here in our local area, they trust me. When I say something, they listen,
Yeah, well, like I said, you're accurate. You're pretty accurate.
Right. I try to be, but it is the weather and God's in control. So that's just how it is. But so it does. I always say God has a sense of humor. And sometimes I'm like, okay, this ain't funny no more. But
it's like I just told 5,000 people it was going to rain and it didn't do anything.
It didn't do nothing, no. So they always say it. That was the only job that anybody can do and still get paid for and lie about it.
Yeah. So does that mean, so since you got this, so I guess by default, you are the official weather forecaster for the Jasper Jeep Jam. I mean, I'm assuming I'm assuming you're like the official weather forecast for the Jeep Jam.
Probably, yeah. I did it last year whenever it was about, I think it was the opening day. And anyways, about a week or so before that, I predicted severe thunderstorms for the opening day. And sure enough, it did. It come through there, a windstorm. I mean, it blew.
Yeah.
It come big old rain and big piney came up and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, it was quite a little wind event. And after that, it was beautiful. You know, it turned
Yeah.
weather.
Well, I mean, like I said, I got on there and I saw you were doing that, and I got on your Storm Watch page, and I started watching it. You know, and I've tuned in for your live stuff. And I mean, like I said, you do a good broadcast for that. I mean, not saying because you're my friend, you know, but I'm just saying you do a good job. I mean, it seems like people really enjoy that part. You know, that you're giving them that information and stuff around there. And like I said, you should probably be. I don't know if Lisa and Kyle are listening or not. I don't know, but probably should be the official storm guy, weather guy for the Jasper Jeep Jam. And probably that could be a title or something. I mean, I don't know.
He would be calling me all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Why is it raining? That's like we had our first rooftop tent that Gene and I had. We had a front runner tent, and it was the rain tent. I don't know if I've told you this story before, but if you crack that tent open, it rained. It didn't matter if it was 100% chance of sunny skies and not, it rained every time you pop that tent open. And we destroyed Rito one year with it. I mean, we opened it up, blew the porta potties over everything else, and then we got rid of that tent. And I always said it should have went to Ethiopia or South Africa, someplace that needed some rain, and somebody could have just opened that thing up and let it go. But we could wreck a forecast. I mean, we could straight up wreck a forecast with that tent.
Yeah, people used to tell my grandpa in the summertime when it get dry, they're like, you need to go camping. You need to go camping, because when grandpa go camping, the sky, you know.
We went with Craig. I think we were with Craig when we did this, and one of the guys was there, and he's like, "Man, I'm gonna take my rain fly off my tent." I'm like, "Bro, do not take the rain fly off your tent. I'm fixing to open my tent up." He's like, "It's not even going to rain." And I'm like, "I promise you, do not take the rain fly off your tent if I open my tent." We opened it up. He took it off. Sure enough, rained in the middle of the night. There's not a cloud anywhere. And it rained in that dude's tent.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, you can't never tell, but it's, even in, what we all go out and do, you always kind of want to be prepared for what's going to happen. Yeah. You never know, because the weather can be a very dangerous thing, and one of the big theories that we talked about in Storm Spotter class with people, I hear it all the time here in my area. Tornadoes don't go through the mountains. It'll jump from point to point. And I'm like, bull hockey. Okay. Yeah. They're not just bouncing around these hillsides. Yeah. They might come off of them, and have to get lower down into the canyon, but they're not bouncing. But back several years ago, we had a tornado. It went right just south of our house here, actually. Mm-hmm. But I wrote on my weather page, this is before I had any kind of storm watch, just my regular page then. And I wrote a discussion on there about what I thought would happen. We had a warm front in the area. So here I'm going to go all these terms, but we had a warm front in the area. And I said, if a storm can form along that warm front and get rooted into that front, it could create a tornado. Well, 20 minutes later, I was tracking one coming to us, and it got in that warm front. Yeah. And it come a plowing. I think it stayed on the ground for 18 miles through Newton County. Through some of the roughest terrain we have, and it barreled through there, tearing the pine trees down. It went just south of our house, and I warned people like 10 minutes before the Weather Service even issued a warning that a tornado was starting to form. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of the people, they were like, Michael, if it wasn't for you doing that and it's coming out and telling us that, we would have never known that quick. We were already hiding. And, but yeah, it was funny because we were underneath of the house and nothing was happening yet. But the lightning, this is the part that was weird, Bradley. The lightning was so blinding, but there was no thunder.
Oh gosh,
weird, very, very weird. And
I've got, I've only been through one severe tornado. I've only been through one. Now we've had tornadoes through Jonesboro. We have them every year. They come through here, they tear through. That's part of what I do. I'm a restoration contractor, so I go out and put roofs back on houses and put them back together. Mm-hmm. But when I got to tell this funny story. So I first started doing this overland and stuff, and I was with Jamie and Gordon and a couple more of our friends, Rod and Charlie. They went to Land Between the Lakes, and it's when that tornado came in 2000, whatever it was, came through Murray, Kentucky, and just flattened Murray, Kentucky.
Yeah.
So we were at Land Between the Lakes, and I didn't know these guys. I mean, I camped with them maybe once. I've been to a couple off-road parks with them, not really gone out and done stuff. And we pull up and we're sitting there and we go in and the people are like, "Hey, what are you guys doing here?" And I'm like, "We're here. We're camping." They're like, "You gotta leave. Like there's a tornado coming." And I'm like, "We're from Arkansas. So we really don't have anywhere to go." I'm like, We're like, "What are we supposed to do?" And they're like, "Well, there's nothing. It's just you're just in a big open area. The tornado's coming right towards where we're coming." So, of course, Gina gets on to me. She makes fun of me because I'm like, I send a little Facebook message like, "Well, I love you. It's going to be real bad. I don't know what's going to happen." I do the whole, the good husband thing, send this and everything.
Last words.
Last words. I'm writing my eulogy myself, because it's bad. I'm watching on the radar, and I'm like, "Holy crap! It's nothing but red and yellow and purple and everything just coming right to where we're at." So we're in this park, and they've got concrete toilets. So I'm like, "What are we gonna do, guys?" So we winch our Jeeps to this we tie all 4 of our Jeeps to this concrete toilet. And I'm like, I guess if it gets really, really bad, we're all going to go get in this concrete toilet and everything. We're going to hang out. And the whole thing in my head is I'm like, they're going to find me dead in the bathroom in a state park with 4 other guys. Like, how is this going to play out in the news? I'm like, what's going to go on? But we rode that storm out. That was on my birthday. And we rode that storm out. And Jamie had made some badges for us. It was I forgot the Turkey Bay Tornado Challenge, and we went back every year for like a while, going back and doing it on my birthday. But that was the biggest tornado that I've ever been close to. And when we left, the devastation was just, it just flattened everything around it. We didn't have power, no fuel, nothing. Get out of there. So what you're doing is awesome. Don't ever second guess yourself doing that. Always do that because if you save one life is plenty to save. If you can save 100, that's even better. Right. And to me, it's all witchcraft. Like they said, it's all witchcraft, and I don't know how it works. I can't even get the air conditioner to work in my house half the time. I can't stay. So if you can track a storm from the leaves blowing and everything, and you're looking at the radar and the dew point, and the humidity, and all this other stuff, and you're doing that, that's awesome, dude. It takes skill. It obviously takes some skill.
People sometimes look at me real funny and that I talk to about weather, and I'll say when I watch radar, because I've watched it for so many years, I said I can tell what a storm is thinking. They're like, "Really?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "I know that sounds weird." I said, "But I can watch it and tell what it's thinking, what it's wanting, what it's going to do."
Look, it's Twister. I'm telling you, you're telling me the plot of the movie Twister.
And so even my son's that same way. He, I would show him some stuff about weather, and he's actually really good at it. And he'll be, sometimes he'll point stuff out to me before I catch it. Like, "Dad, you need to watch this one." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, But that one that hit, over at Springdale back here a few months ago, that big one.
Yeah.
That storm was just insane. It was all by itself. It had a moist, warm environment, nothing to kill it.
Mm-hmm.
It had
you said the word. You said moist.
Yeah, it was. But it came all the way out of Oklahoma and all the way across Arkansas doing what it was doing. And, of course, it came south of Harrison, and I was tracking it. And so, when it started getting into that Carroll County and Boone County area, I was really watching it. And of course, I had like almost 400 people up in the early morning hours were on there watching. Wow. And
that's awesome.
So, the tornado had lifted. And of course, we've been seeing that storm. It would create a tornado, rip up stuff, go back up, recycle, redo it again. It kept doing that, And so whenever it started to come into Boone County, that's where I began to get worried that that something was going to happen, because we were already going to that recycle stage in Carroll County, and we've been seeing the behavior of the storm. And so we were watching it, and I was watching it, and then over toward a little town called Zinc, which is kind of northeast of Harrison, I saw the hell core begin to grow inside of there, and this is
Yeah.
one of the things, I can tell what a storm's thinking. But when I seen that happen, that tells me, okay, the updraft is increasing and you got to have that to create a tornado. And it was significantly increasing fast. And then that's when I said, I said, this thing may be about to produce a tornado again. The hell core's increasing. Well, then about that time, just to the west of the Boone County Sheriff's Office, my radar, which I can see debris on, it's called a correlation. So I can see debris when it's lofted. And right there to the west of the Boone County Sheriff's Office, right about where the hook echo was, or what we call the Eagle's Beak, that sharpened up tightly real quick. And I thought, oh God, it's fixing to do it. And about that time, the radar showed debris. And I thought, oh, it was in a field at that time.
Yeah.
And then when it got to the sheriff's office area, it turned dark blue, which is something you don't want to see because it's really tearing up stuff then.
Yeah.
And so, I was telling people, I'm like, hey, if you're in Harmon area, you need to be taking shelter. And if you're near the Boone County Sheriff's Office and you can hear me, can you tell me if something's happening? Of course, everybody was hiding at that point.
Yeah.
And so there was people that I talked to like, Michael, we had you on our phones. Our lights all of a sudden went out. We could hear it roaring because it was coming by near us, and if it wasn't for you telling us that, we said, when we could tell by the seriousness of your attitude and your voice, this was serious. And it was, and it did a lot of damage. It killed people. It was bad. It ended up being an EF3 tornado, and it was horrible.
That's like I said, man. It's good to have somebody like you in your corner. I mean, like guys, if you're not watching, if you're not watching his page on that stuff, you need to go ahead and do it. I mean, you may not live in the area, but if you are, I mean, I still watch it. I mean, I watch it because that weather's coming my way eventually anyway.
Right.
So I mean, I watch to keep up with it and stuff like that, and that's cool that you can even do that, man. Because I could never figure that stuff out. I mean, I just don't think I have the capacity to decipher all that information. Yeah, he's like, pay this man my personal weatherman. That's what Corey said. That's exactly right, Corey. You are now paying Michael $65 a year for his weather forecast. I don't really for that. So, but let's talk about, we got a few minutes of the show left. Let's talk about a couple things we got coming up. So you are going to be at the Jasper Jeep Jam, correct?
Oh yeah. Yep.
You're going to be there at the Jasper Jeep Jam. I'm going to be at the Jasper Jeep Jam. It looks like Corey's going to be there from Big Rock. He's going to be there. There's a bunch of people going to be at this event.
Yes.
And you help put this on. Now, from what I understand, I mean, you helped Kyle and Lisa. You helped them do all this. You're a big part of this thing, So I think they're lucky to have you, helping them get this stuff going out and everything. But what are you doing what are you doing there at the Jeep Jam this year? What are you doing there?
I'm going to be there and have my rig and stuff set up, and get to talk to people, and so, and I'm honored to be able to help Kyle and Lisa out with this. It's great. Of course, Jasper, a lot of my family lives there. My family lived there for over 100 years. So, but I'm glad to see this, these activities for Jasper to help it out. It's a great thing for the city. And I'm just glad to be able to have some part of, even if it's just something little, but I would just do whatever I can to try to help them out, or an opinion about something or whatever like that, but they're really the brains,
Let me tell you what, this event right now as it stands looks amazing.
It does.
I'm talking amazing. Yes. And there's a lot. I mean, I'm honored. I'm very honored to be there on Storyteller Row this year. I'm honored to be there, and I'm super excited. But I can tell you what, I mean, I'm more. Okay, I'm jonesing because there's some people coming that I want to talk to. There's some people that are going to be there that I'm excited to talk to and get to hang out with. And so I know everybody else is excited to come hang out with these people. And it's like my friends, this is basically like my friends and family event is basically what this boils down to for me, because all you guys are going to be there. And, we're a big part of each other. It's what we're doing. We're all out doing this stuff. And I'm like just stoked to be there and get to hang out and do this. I mean, so I know you get to do this. I mean, you're part of it. You're having a blast with it. Corey's there, you know, Craig's going to be there, Jordan's going to be there, you know, Alvin's going to be there, Jamie's going to be there. I mean, like, there's just tons of us, you know. Cody Wample's going to be there. They're going to be hanging out, you know. Semper Gumby, I got to talk to him today. I mean, he messaged me. We got to talk today. So that's super cool. You know, Jason and Kate are going to be there, you know. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited. I'm very, very excited. I'm probably going to make a fool out of myself, but, you know, I'm super excited.
Yeah, no, it is. It's going to be a great time. That's, you know, one thing that, you know, that I tell a lot of people about the overlanding off-roading community, however you want to look at it, you know, it really is like one big family. It really is. And it's not about who has the coolest rig, you know. Yeah, I love to look at those rigs. I mean, it's the fact that, you know, my Arkansas Off-Road Adventures, I do that for the fact that I want people to see that stuff. Like, hey, there's stuff out here to go find. There's stuff out here to do. I don't care if you're doing it in a Subaru,
that's exactly
a Ford Pinto, whatever makes you happy. Get out there, go camp, go out and get in nature. You know, it's good. It's good for the mind. It's good for the soul to get disconnected from the world for a while, because God knows it's crazy. And just you know what I mean, and get out there in nature, you know, with your buddies, you know, and your friends, and camp and stuff like that, you know. And so, you know, and that's what I've loved about the overlanding community, is that I've not met a bad person. I've not, you know, have not met a bad person. And everybody helps each other, and it helps each other in some way, shape, or form.
I preach that every time we do this. That we go out and we do this. And if you go out and you hang out, you're going to come back with more than what you left with. I mean, you're going to come back, you're going to have new friends. We went to storm the Ozarks together. Me and you had never met personally until we went there.
Right.
Went to storm the Ozarks together. And Dan's event that he did got everybody together. I mean, and that got me and you in contact with each other, got us to become friends. You know, we got, you know, Dirt Rock, you know, we got everybody. I mean, everybody all got together, and, you know, we've become family. I mean, that's basically what, you know, like Lisa said, that's what the Jeep Jam is about. It's more like a family reunion of overlanders and people that want to come out and see stuff and come and do that stuff. And it's a relaxed environment. You can go hang out in, you know, you can make those connections. And that's him selling my Jeep. Like, I get in the middle of something, I start reading stuff, and Corey types something like, I'm selling my Jeep for a Bronco. I just put a lift on your Jeep. We're not selling your Jeep for a Bronco.
That would end me and his friendship if he got a Bronco.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me throw this out to you real fast. Like, so Lisa just posted that if you do not have your tickets yet for Jasper Jeep Jam, there's no VIP tickets left from what I understand. They're all gone. Everybody's cleaned those out, picked those up. Go get your tickets for Jasper Jeep Jam. Come hang out. Come hang out with me. Come hang out with Michael. Come hang out with Corey. Come hang out with everybody. You know, it's like, I don't even know what to say. I mean, it's going to be a huge, huge amount of fun. You know, we're going to be there 13th through the 16th. We're going to be there for the whole thing. You know, get online, get on the Facebook page, get your tickets, and come hang out with all of us. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, come hang out. There's got music. I mean, I'm going to be there. That's a huge reason to be there.
Oh yeah, I love music.
I mean, that's a huge reason to be there, because I'm going to be there. You know, I'm just kidding.
The Jeep Jam was the very first ever, you know, overlanding event that I'd ever went to. It's my very first one. You know, because I was new at this still, and it's my very first one. And I met a lot of great people. You know, I got a buddy, Stephen Westfall and Jason Loper, and them that I met there, and you know, they were like two of my big buddies that I met there for the first time, and we're still friends today. And I consider them up there in my top 10 list of besties, you know. And so, you know, and we're still friends today and stuff like that. Talk all the time. And Stephen, he helped get my wife's Gladiator rocker and all that stuff fixed in it whenever, you know, the little 3.6 liter problems they have. And so, yeah, he helped me out with that, man. It's, you know, which I ever have questions, I'm like, all right, Stephen, I need some help. What do we need to do? You know, so, but yeah, it's a great community, man. You can meet a lot of people, make a lot of good friends and stuff. And yeah, like you said, it's a really good, relaxed, laid back environment, you know. And so, Yeah, I encourage you. If you've never been in that kind of community, just come check it out. Even just come for the day.
Like I said, that's one good thing about the Old Atlantic community, off-road community is, everybody's pretty much accepting of everybody, of whatever you do.
Yes.
And it's like, I'm hard pressed promoting the Jeep Jam, and I'm doing it on everything, doing the Overland 870, doing it on Narwhal, doing it on everything, because I am honored to be. This is my first storyteller event like this. This is my first storyteller event is Overland 870 podcast.
Mm-hmm.
This is my first one, and I'm going to do everything I possibly can to make this awesome for the people that are there. So.
Right.
Gina and I are going to have a surprise for anybody that comes by the booth. If you can come by and show us that you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, and you're in the Facebook group, whatever, we're going to have some surprises for you guys. So just come by and check it out and hang out with us and everything, and just come enjoy a good time. I mean,
yeah.
what else are you going to do? What else are you going to do? I mean, what else are you going to do? You're going to go sit at home and sulk because you're not there?
Yeah.
Don't watch this on the YouTube video, people. Come see it in person.
Experience it. Yeah, come and experience it.
Because I promise you, you're getting it on this event is going to be massive. I mean, there got a lot of cool people there. I mean, and it's going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I absolutely believe that 100% because it's
Dan, what are you talking about, brother? And somebody's gonna give me hey, there's Benji.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Benji's gonna be there. Come hang out with Benji. He loves to talk to people.
And Jamie will bring the only bottle of Clover Valley vodka.
Clover Valley vodka. Yes, ask Jamie about Clover Valley vodka when you see him.
Yeah. Every time I ever hear the word Jamie, even if it doesn't refer to the Jamie that we're talking about,
buying sausages,
it comes to mind.
vodka and Clover Valley. Look at Craig is donating all the $50 bills we're going to be giving out.
Turn that on him.
We do have a couple announcements that we're going to make while we're there. We want everybody to be a part of. But I do have to do so. I got to take a little bit of the shine away from Jasper Jeep Jam for just a second for everybody that's in here. But I got to post this up on the stage real fast. So the More Expo has been very nice to give us our own user code for this. So they're going to give us 15% off tickets to the More Expo. Chris did this for us. It's super awesome. And, check the More Expo out. It's not as cool as the Jasper Jeep Jam, but it's still cool. So, but guys, like I said, go check the Jeep Jam out. Go hang out with us, hang out with all the cool kids. We're all going to be there. All the Arkians will be there doing our Arkian stuff. Hanging out and having a good time. Oh, wait a second. We got something going on in the chat here. Oh, look. Oh my gosh. Dan.
Help it, did he?
He couldn't help it.
I've been nice all night, Bradley. I've not made a short joke.
I know. I was expecting you to make nothing but short jokes the entire time we were here. Yeah, and I don't. Yeah, it's bad enough that while we were at Frosty Fenders, that Corey came by and stuck that snake on my shoulder. Put the snake on my shoulder at Frosty Fenders. Yeah. But that's okay. I still love Corey. I still love him.
Oh, yeah.
Big yellow. Him and Jordan, they got a whole yellow gladiator crew there. They got the whole thing together.
Yeah, it's something. Yeah, Corey was actually one of the very first YouTubers I ever met up with and went camping with.
Let me tell you what, Corey and I'm a gamer and Corey's a gamer. And so we just automatically are like this because we can talk about games. I couldn't punch Corey. He's like 7'4". I couldn't even hit him in the mouth if I wanted to. I'd have to stand, I'd have to take a running jump and spring out of one of those folding camp chairs and try to get up there to hit him. I could never even do it. Why am I getting escorted away? Why did I do this time?
It would be like, look at the short man getting arrested, sent off to the jail.
Yeah, look at the short guy getting. What did I do this time? I'm like, look. At Reno, I tried to sell David Cartwright's buddy's rig when I was there, but whatever.
That ain't the first time we were trying to give away something else.
No, more the first time I've been hauled off in handcuffs either.
I like Brandon's refrigerator.
Oh God, look at Craig. Craig's busting on me now. I never got into gaming. I had friends when I was a kid. Thank you. I appreciate that. Right there, Craig. Right there, buddy.
Yep.
What's up, my man Benji? That's my dog right there. The rattlesnake. No, look, dude. We're gonna stop the rattlesnake cage. Do you have a rattlesnake cage? I mean, like, is this like a real thing?
They ain't told me about it. I might be.
I think I have the flu. All right, guys. We're gonna call it a night. I appreciate everybody showing up and showing out in the chat and everything. Thank you, Michael, for coming and sharing your Bigfoot stories. If you are not following Michael on his page on Arkansas Off-Road Adventures, you need to go over there and do it. Follow Newton County Storm Watch too. That's correct. I did say that right, didn't I?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, so make sure, because sometimes I start talking about fig Newtons, I get hungry. So go follow him on those pages and get some weather stuff going on, guys. And come out to the Jasper Jeep Jam with us. We're on the countdown phase of that. It's getting ready to go. Don't forget to check Overland 870 for Bourbon on the Buffalo. Thanks to Alvin over there at Smoking Crow. He's getting all that lined up for us. Go get your tickets for that. That covers up your camping and everything. We're going to have a lot of stuff going on there. And thank you very much to the Jasper Jeep Jam for donating to Frosty Fenders. We appreciate it very much. So everybody have a good night and good rest of the week. I will be out in the woods for a little bit, but if you guys can talk me into going camping, maybe we make it happen. So as always, whoop, whoop, bang on a tree, Bigfoot style, guys, and we will see you later. Have a good night, folks.
We'll see you guys.